What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm talking about every Star Wars set releasing on May the 1st and if you should buy it or if you should wait for clearance or just skip it at all. So for the first set, I'll talk about the Rebel U-Wing Starfighter. So we got a U-Wing, I think, back in 2010, which I like the build a lot better than it is now. This one is only $70 though, and will come with 4 minifigures, which I believe are almost all exclusive. The K2SO will appear in the bigger K2SO, like, buildable figure releasing in August, but this set is a lot cheaper, I think $30 cheaper than the K2SO buildable figure that you would also get the K2SO in. But for the figures that they do have, the 4 figures are actually really nice. It comes with 2 Imperial officers, K2SO, and Andor, and the Imperial officers are done really well. Andor is also really accurate from the pictures in the trailer, and the build isn't necessarily bad, it's just a little bit small for my liking, but $70 I think is definitely worth it for this. This is one of the best sets releasing on May the 1st. For the same price, which is $70, you will see a lot of sets for $70 or $60 to $70 that are actually releasing on May the 1st. This one is Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle, which is I believe the 4th mid-scale set that you would get. I think they're all the same price. Every single one of them is $60. This one is Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle. So we got the Tantive 4, the Millennium Falcon, and probably my favorite, the Invisible Hand, all for $70. And if you like any of those more than this Command Shuttle, I definitely recommend getting them, because this one definitely doesn't match up price per piece. It's $70 and there's only 300 pieces, and like always, it doesn't come with a minifigure. This set is very disappointing for $70, mainly the price per piece, but also I'd rather get the Invisible Hand for the same price over this Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle. Next is the Jango Fett helmet for $70, and it will come with 600 pieces, which I know isn't the best price per piece accuracy, but I still think it's a lot better than Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle, and there is some subtle improvements for some other helmets. I know a lot of the helmets, like this one, is very similar to Boba Fett's helmet as well as the Mandalorian helmet, but there are some subtle changes that actually improve it, and I can notice a lot right away with some of the lifestyle images. The images on Lego.com, it actually looks pretty nice. They also changed the rangefinder, I think, because Jango Fett has a thicker rangefinder in the UCS Slave 1, which I'll talk about later. For $70, if you like the helmets, this is definitely a good one. I wouldn't skip on this one. Next is the Kylo Ren helmet, which is another helmet. And probably I wouldn't get this over Jango Fett because it is the same price as every other helmet, $70, and only comes with 500 pieces, so a lot less than the Jango Fett. And this one is like the Episode 7 helmet, so it doesn't have any of the red markings on it. I said multiple times, and I really don't like it. It's definitely a missed opportunity, and I wished it had the red markings. If it did, I would consider it a little bit more, but $70 for 500 pieces, and then you're getting a Kylo Ren helmet, and it's not even the cool version of it. I definitely wouldn't recommend getting this one. It's probably one of the worst ones that we are getting on May the 1st. Next is the brick-built Star Wars logo, and I believe there was in January a Marvel logo that released for $100. Well, this one is only $60, and I think it has 700 pieces, which I believe is a little bit more than the Marvel logo for $100. And of course, the Marvel logo is just the Marvel logo, but it had different like technical features to pop out a bunch of different minifigures, and some of the minifigures definitely weren't that good. At least I'm not really a Marvel fan, but I can tell by some of the design stuff I don't really like them, especially because the Hulk wasn't a big fig and it was just like a smaller minifig Hulk. They didn't even include Hawkeye, sort of swapped the Hawkeye for the Hulk, but of course it's not about that. It's about the brick-built Star Wars logo. This one doesn't really come with any minifigures, but it's basically just the logo. I believe there is one like hidden detail in it with the very first scene in any Star Wars movie or media or anything from Episode 4, the opening scene, with the Tantive 4 being chased by the Star Destroyer. So it's really cool to have that incorporated in there. But it actually looks pretty good. Price per piece as actually perfect, technically, exactly 700 pieces for $60 actually. So technically the price per piece is like high, which is, I guess, good in this case, but it looks pretty good. There's a little bit of like greebling, which I really like, sort of to connect to the letters. And obviously the lifestyle images, they can't show a bunch of other sets alongside it because it has to only show the one set that's in it. But I would really like to see them images with a bunch of other Star Wars sets alongside it, because that's what that's how I would imagine it in my display for like the front and center for my Star Wars side of my shelves. I think that would look really, really nice. I'm definitely going to pick this up in day one. Next is the Chopper Astromech Droid, or the brick-built Chopper, which is really, really cool because it, there was a set last year, I think it was like the brick-built droid set. I'm not sure what it was called. It was like Creative Play something. It was one of the worst sets of the year because it did come with a 25th anniversary minifigure, but it was one of the worst ones. I think it was Young Leia, and I really didn't like it. But one of the things I liked was the Chopper, like the smaller action mech of a Chopper, and I really didn't like how he was included with a bunch of like other astromech droids. Just they didn't really do very well. So I'm glad he gets his honor in this. So there's a giant Chopper, of course, and he does have the two iconic like arms coming out, and they look pretty detailed or like movable, I guess, so you can like hide them away into it, his astromech bodies. You can see some of the images, and there is an antenna on the top, and it comes with a like a information plaque, I guess, on the bottom, as well as a Chopper minifigure, which isn't the best Chopper minifigure. I don't think it has any back printing, but it's the same one we found in Ahsoka. So this is the Ahsoka Chopper. But it's really cool because I think there's going to be Ahsoka Season 2 got announced at Star Wars Celebrations. And the Chopper isn't that good again, but like I still think it's worth it for $100 to get a giant Chopper, and it has 1,309 pieces, so it is pretty good price per piece. Actually, that is like average, I guess, technically price per piece. And accounting for like inflation and like all the other sets aren't really exactly price per piece, this is actually really good because it's one of the only sets that actually is perfect or exceeding price per piece. So this definitely is worth $100. Definitely go pick up the Chopper on May the 1st, or technically May the 4th, because you will be getting the droid training, or the clone training facility, because I definitely think it's worth it to get it on May 4th anyway. It doesn't even matter if you're gonna be able to get it or eligible to get it with how many amount of money you're spending, because I probably won't even be able to purchase it, but I'm still going on May the 4th because I feel like there's a way longer line on May the 4th, which I know some people might not like, but if you're in like the middle of the line where you're not too far and you're not too like in front, I feel it's actually nice to have the hype with a bunch of people around you on May the 4th. So I definitely recommend doing it on May the 4th, buying any set that you're getting. And who knows, a different set might like call you out in the store, and then you'll be getting the exclusive clone training facility, which I also talk about later in this video. But now for probably the greatest set of May the 1st. Jango Fett's UCS Slave 1, or Starship, or Fire Sabre class Starship is how the title puts it on Lego.com. But the box, of course, says Starship. They never actually refer to Slave 1. This set will release for $300, which is pretty good for a UCS set. And, of course, it's just a giant Slave 1, which is going to be the Jango Fett Slave 1, so it has blue on it. Of course, it has Boba Fett and Jango Fett, which I know a lot of people don't like the Boba Fett minifigure, but I don't think it's that completely horrible. I really don't like it a lot, though. I definitely wish they could have done better, and if I get it, I'll probably make some improvements myself, mainly with the hairpiece, because it's really, really inaccurate. But the actual Jango Fett minifigure, which is basically the only reason people would get this, is really, really nice, I guess, besides the build. Or another reason that they would get this, because Jango Fett minifigure. Hopefully, it will be an exclusive for this set. Of course, we don't know, because we haven't seen the instruction booklet, and if it says exclusive or not. Because there is a play scale one releasing in August, I think. So hopefully it doesn't include that, because it'd be really nice to have that detail and all the print that it has, not in another set. But it does have like a little bit of a thicker rangefinder, which I think is actually more accurate for Jango Fett specifically. I don't really know how I feel about it on other figures, because of course they haven't released on other figures. I don't think they will for the June sets or the August sets. We haven't seen most of the August sets. But hopefully we do get this the new thicker rangefinder in some other sets, because definitely would like that. I think it'd be an improvement for most. Of course, I don't really know, because I haven't seen on any of the other figures. But compared to the older one, I think the newer one, it looks way, way better on Jango Fett. So again, that would probably be like my one purchase if I had to get one set. And of course, you'd be getting the clone training facility with that. And honestly, I'm a pretty big fan of Brickheads, and there's 2 different Brickheads sets, I guess, coming out on the 1st of May, which they did do last year. They had the episode 1 Brickhead set, as well as a separate Commander Cody Brickhead, which I really wish would release this year because it's the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. So that kind of sucks that they don't actually have that for the like solo Brickhead, I guess. So there's usually a pack of Brickheads for the whatever episode is honoring, and then a smaller one which usually has nothing to do with it. But this one, it's Revenge of the Sith Heroes and Villains. It comes with Anakin, Palpatine, General Grievous, Padme, and Mace Windu, which I think are pretty good. I really like the Anakin and the General Grievous. Those are definitely my favorite ones. But Palpatine and Padme definitely aren't the greatest because they don't really remind me of Revenge of the Sith. I know Padme's outfit is technically Revenge of the Sith, like, exclusive, I guess. But Anakin has, like, his completely new look. He basically changes the look every single episode, so you can definitely tell that it's Anakin here. I don't really mind it too much with Mace Windu, but the Emperor Palpatine more reminds me of, like, something from the original trilogy, and the Padme, I feel like they could have just swapped it out for something better. Like, if I had to make this myself, the only 2 I would swap out is Palpatine and Padme. I would probably swap them out for probably Count Dooku. I think would be a really good choice, and maybe like a Phase 2 clone as a Brickhead. I definitely would get that set if it had a Phase like 2, probably Shock Trooper, maybe even 501st Trooper. Those are probably the top 2 I would select. That would actually be really nice. I definitely think that would help the set gain more popularity, and I would definitely purchase it if it had a cloned Brickhead in it, because that would be like really good. And they did do the Cody one last year, which I know isn't like exactly like perfect, I guess. I do have a review, but that is a while back. I wish it would have been just like a regular clone, sort of, so I guess you could army build with it, which would be really cool. But of course, it comes with like 4 other Brickheads, so it is like a 5-pack for $50, so it is worth it. But I wish you would have gotten the clone as the solo Brickhead, so it also not only honor Revenge of the Sith, but you could army build with it. So it would be really cool to get a clone to army build as like a Brickhead. I can imagine some really cool videos I would do with that, and it'd be a lot cheaper for only $10, at least hopefully, because the Luke Skywalker Rebel Pilot, which is the solo Brickhead for May the 1st, is only $10. Of course, this is from the original trilogy. Wish it would be something from the prequel trilogy at least, but of course mainly episode 3, but sadly they didn't do that. And for what it is a really good Brickhead. It's really accurate in detail. If you like Luke Skywalker and his Rebel Pilot outfit, it does look really good and accurate, actually. But I feel like it's definitely overlooked for like a better Brickhead, or what could have been a way better Brickhead. But now looking at all the images, it actually seems like a really nice Brickhead for what it is. But again, I really wish it would be something else. But it actually looks really accurate. I'm looking at all the techniques. It looks so nice. I know there is some stickers in it. But honestly, if you like Brickheads, I definitely wouldn't skip out on this one. This one is definitely a good one. It's mainly the fact I would have wished it would have been a different Brickhead. But that is going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing rest of your day, and see you all in the next one.